Alright, I did BlackWargreymon 2 weeks ago, and clearly I have to do the dark counterpart BlackWargreymon. After last week's list on Jumbo Control, I needed something to counter this deck. And BlackWargreymon has a lot of tools you need for a lot of decks in the upcoming BT14 meta. As always, I'll cover the card by card, the strengths, the weaknesses, and of course, some mild combos. This deck runs 4 level 2s, 13 level 3s, 10 level 4s, 8 level 5s, 6 level 6s, 7 option cards, and 6 tamers. For your level 2s, I run the new BlackWargreymon from the starter deck. This Digimon on all turns once per turn when an attack target is switched, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP until the end of the turn. While true you don't run BlackWargreymon, the purpose of this Digimon is more so on your opponent's turn when you block or redirect attacks into BlackWargreymon X. While you can substitute other Koromons, this deck does focus on black base because of the fact that you're utilizing Agumon X's as extra layers of protection. You could run red as your baseline with any of the other existing Koromons, whether it be for draw power and extra DP buffs. But you'll also swap into the offense training cards and then bottom deck all your tamers since they're all black. In regards to level 3s, as always, you run an Agumon package. One major difference from this variant to the aggro variant is that I don't run any of the new Agumons from BT14. While you could, again, it just creates a bottom decking scenario with your defense training cards. For this variant, BT8 Agumon is one of your best searchers, primarily because you can add potentially 2 Digimon, one with Greymon and one with Dragonkin in its traits. If you happen to reveal 2 BlackWargreymons or BlackWargreymon and BlackWargreymon X, you can add both. Agumon X adds an extra layer of protection, especially if you're utilizing the BT9 Greymon X's as another source of protection, while your BT12 and Starter Deck 15 variants are your primary 4 copies. Starter Deck 15 Agumon can gain you memory and is especially useful when you block, while BT12 Agumon can find all your ties and any Greymon Digimon. Needless to say, Greymon decks are slowly becoming more flexible as additional members are added with the black box text. Greymon-wise, you utilize 4 of the new Starter Deck variant Greymons in order to gain additional memory when you block or redirect. However, if it's checked in security, this gives you an avenue to play your Taikamiya or even an Agumon for free. The standard 1 copy of BT11 Greymon X is absolutely necessary, while you run 3 copies of BT12 Greymon for extra DP, and a chance to play Taikamiya for free if you don't have one in play. While true, this Digimon becomes a dead card in terms of effect after Taikamiya is played, the inheritable of plus 1000 DP on all turns is definitely worth it. And of course, Greymon X from BT9 for additional protection. Out of the entire deck, this and your x-antibodies are the only cards that can whiff on defense training, but the fact that you have 4 Agumons to go off of, or even the 7 Digimon that are just Greymon, also definitely help. When it comes to level 5s though, this deck runs your standard line of Raid Metal Greymon but only at 1 copy. While you can utilize this Digimon to raid and play more tamers, ultimately this variant of Greymon plays more defensive than aggro. Getting Starter Deck 15 Taikamiya early can be huge, especially if you want to add additional DP buffs to prevent your Digimon from being deleted by attacks. But BT8 Metal Greymon is arguably my favorite of the deck now because of the fact that you can delay defense training to Digivolve into this Digimon for just 2 memory. And do keep in mind that it does stack with Greymon X's own effect for a cost of 0. While its inheritable is nice, the D-Digivolve element helps against Blast Digivolving. BT11 Metal Greymon X supplements this removal as well, because more than likely you will be deleting your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon before again, they can Blast Digivolve. Not a whole lot to substitute other than adjusting your ratios, or if you want to go for a more aggressive variant by utilizing the Starter Deck 15 Metal Greymon. But personally, I prefer Control. For the level 6s, I do not run Gaiomon in this list. You could for additional aggression and D-Digivolve, but BT8 BlackWargreymon is very strong on its own. In combination with having blocker from BT12 Taikamiya and the memory fixer in play, you can supplement your DP and in essence have a double blocker like Raid War Greymon. Though this Digimon's Digivolution cost can cost 4, again with defense training it's just a measly 2 memory. And the best part is this Digimon can hit Ace Digimon, whether they're level 5 or even 6. While true, Gomamon cannot be blocked, you can still redirect attacks via powerful Digimon like BlackWargreymon X. BlackWargreymon X can be another problem to play around, as Digimon that unsuspend will trigger its secondary effect to delete a Digimon with the lowest play cost. Mirage Galgamon, Fenrir-Lugamon, the list goes on. Personally, I don't run any level 7s in this deck, although you very well could run Blitz Omnimon or even Omnimon X for a finisher play. But keep in mind, none of your Digimon search for Omnimon except BT12-Agumon. For my list, I'm optimizing my searches where I can, while also making some trade-offs. For option cards, I run a single copy of Hades Force, since most decks are more explosive and don't play as many Tamers. Another limitation of this option card is the fact that you need a Digimon with Greymon in its name and play to use, because it goes off of that Digimon's play cost. You could drop this entirely altogether and just run 4 defense training cards. Defense training is the training option equivalent for black decks, and can find anything in the deck but 5 cards. This greatly reduces the Digivolution cost of some Digimon, and since you have some removal built in, you can even delete floodgates before climbing higher. The last option card, of course, goes to X-antibody, which aids in not only your protection effects, but also allows you to climb higher when attacking. But the best part? With Tomihime coming back to 4, this helps keep your Digimon with at minimum 1 source. And this was a huge counter to Jumbo Control in play testing. Finally, to round out the Tamers, there are 6 of them. Yu Yu Kuka is a single tech copy Tamer for the reason that you can't play it off anything, except Raid Metal Greymon's redirect effect. But for your Tai Kamiyas, it's different because there are so many ways to get these Tamers out. Starter Deck 15 Tai gives you a DP buff when you redirect and also draws you a card, while BT12 Tai Kamiya has arguably become the reason many decks no longer run inheritable blocking Greymon, and instead opt for this for the extra buff, blocker effect, and most of all, a memory refund. In terms of strengths and weaknesses, this deck is your standard run-of-the-mill Greymon style deck. It does focus more on control than aggro, and the biggest problem at times might be speed. While protection is nice, Blue now has better tools to target specific Digivolution sources rather than targeting top sources or bottom sources. This deck I feel operates better against other meta decks, because now not only do you have a little safety with the X-antibody option card and blue decks that source strip, but Metal Greymon X can prevent DP reduction and also de-Digivolve for the turn. Combo that with Yu Yu Kuga, and your stack is almost impossible to deal with. And while I normally would do a combo segment, I don't feel the need to. Greymon decks continually get support, and the challenge behind it is more so in the deck building process, when you're trying to figure out what best counters for your local or meta scene. In the grand scheme of things, speed is the deck's weakness, but once you set up BlackWargreymon X with multiple layers of protection, your opponent might as well scoop. What are your thoughts on BlackWargreymon X moving into BT14? Do you feel that this deck should be more aggro, or do you think control is the way to go with several decks being aggressive and unsuspending? Let me know your thoughts as I catch you on tomorrow's Tactical Tuesday episode, going over my thoughts for Blast Digivolution, and of course, the counters. This is Digi-Panda, logging out.